The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. You spoke a lot about forming character of people when you're employing them.
Yeah.
Forming relationships. I believe that I was actually considering doing a master's in like psychology or something.
Okay.
Because my background's commercial construction, but I'm not going to work in commercial construction. And psychology and understanding people is the key for any industry.
Yeah.
So what skills would you say you need when you're dealing with people, and especially you're encouraging people to have faith in you to spend their money?
I think just when, okay, so maybe not in a sense of like managing like clients, but just dealing with people in general. I think that experience is key, and relatability. So it's like, sometimes it's like, okay, so if you go into a job, the person, you're just a normal person, and you go and the guy interviewing you's like from, I don't know, studied at Oxford, and like his social status is like a million miles away from yours, you can maybe find it quite hard to relate to that person and maybe be too truthful, because there's no common ground. But I think for myself that where I've kind of done every level, every stage of progression. So it's not a situation where I've just kind of leapfrogged or anything like that. I've kind of like, okay, got in at the ground, did well at the ground, got into the middle ground, did well at the middle ground, got to the top, did well at the top. Do you know what I mean? So it's a situation where, like, even with my staff, there's not really a day or a challenge that they can go through that I haven't faced. So I can always if I find it quite easy to understand what they're going through and what they will require at this point in time, because I've gone through it myself. And with clients just like honesty. Clients just like you to be yourself. A lot of people try to kind of talk themselves up and make themselves seem a little bit better than what they are, but that doesn't provide anybody with any confidence. If anything, if you talk yourself up too much, then a client will think they're inferior and not feel confident around you, whereas a client likes to just know that you're actually just a human being, and you're just like them. You're just someone who's, they might be an expert in construction, but that you're just an expert when it comes to finance, but you're just the same as them.
What was the biggest issue that you had to overcome when starting your business?
I would say not getting emotionally attached to things.
I hear that.
Yeah, so I think the one skill that I've definitely developed, and I'd say I've only really fine-tuned this over the latter stages of my career, is working without emotion. Obviously, I think it's always good to get emotion behind a goal, because that gives you energy. But working without emotion, so if something's not going well, just get rid of it. But that can also be people. So if somebody's not working well, somebody's not doing well, you can sometimes have a bit of an emotional connection with them, because at the end of the day, we are humans and we seek camaraderie. So yeah, just like not having an emotional connection and just doing what's best for the company.
There's a saying, it goes, you hire slowly, you fire quickly. You hire slowly, so you really need to make sure you've got the right person.
Yeah.
You fire quickly, because if you know they're not, there's no point having them hanging around and sabotaging and a painful relationship. Just pull that tooth out and let them go.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with that. Yeah, because I've experienced it in the past where someone may have a bit of negativity or a bad attitude, and it can become infectious. It can travel around the office like smallpox. Like, it can be people can actually almost get infected by negativity and stuff. So yeah, I do feel that regardless of whatever sort of relationship I have with that individual, if it's affecting the business, well then it needs to be stopped.
How do you create your own office environment, in the sense of, you know, every office has its environment. For instance, Google's very friendly, Microsoft is very aggressive. How do you create that?
I don't feel you have to really create it. I think it's just filtered down from the top to the bottom. So it's like, I probably do create it, but without actually realizing. So it's like unconsciously created, if that makes sense. So I think it's more just like how I am and how I am as a character and as a person, and then that just filters down. So yeah, I'm someone who, like, I like good banter. I like jokes that push it to the edge, that might offend certain people and stuff like that. So that's the kind of banter. And with our work, it is predominantly male orientated, and because it's a high pressure job, it tends to be quite alpha males that work in our industry. So it's just a lot of banter, a lot of guys just kind of putting each other down, but in a jokey way. But also I like to instill camaraderie within the team. We put incentives in place where we'd go to social events and do social trips when we achieve certain targets and stuff. So yeah, it's a good all-round atmosphere at work.
Is there an age limit for someone getting into your industry?
No, there's no age limit. There is no age limit.
I've heard it's a stressful job, so that's why the companies usually attract the young.
Yeah, because it's a job where you can burn out. So with our industry, you find that there's a lot of people who have to have like counsellors. A lot of people become they're in AA, so like Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's just due to distress with our working life. But yeah, we do predominantly tend to go for younger people. One, because they're more enthusiastic, more energetic, and that when they're younger, they're less likely to burn out.
I suppose there is one thing you haven't mentioned there.
Go ahead.
The military take on young because it's easier to teach younger people.
Yeah, I think that's true, but I think that if somebody was older and more experienced and would lead less development, of course I'm going to hire that person, because it means I don't have to train them as much and they can just come straight into the job and start performing. So yeah, it's never a situation where we like discriminate against age or anything like that. But I think that because of the pressure that's attached to these jobs, so people who are, well, with age comes more responsibility, doesn't it? So older people tend to have children, may have mortgages, and having that in the background of their brain, as well as having to hit targets, sometimes can be a bit too much for people. So younger people just seem to deal with pressure a lot better. I know myself, I used to deal with pressure far 10 times better than what I do now as I've got older.
That's why you work out 5 days a week. You help relieve that pressure.
Yeah, I would definitely say, it's more to do with my mental health.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's when I wake up and I go to the gym, my focus is a lot more on point. Whereas if I don't go to the gym, my days are a bit all over the place. It just feels a bit foggy. And then if I allow that to go into 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, well then I'm just a bit foggy. So whereas I just see it as like sharpening your sword. When I'm going to the gym, I'm on point, I'm sharp, I'm effective, I'm efficient.
You've been a great guest.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot. My last 2 questions to you. The first one is, what would you, on your passing, what would be the gift that you'd want to share with the world?
Oh, that's a tough question. On my passing, a gift I would like to share with the world. Maybe hope. Yeah, maybe hope for certain people, maybe from certain social demographics who believe that they don't have an opportunity. So yeah, like hope and an example.
Okay. And you've just touched on there now. What is your? I think you've got dual heritage. What are you? Part Caribbean?
Yeah. So my parents, my mum is mixed race, and my dad is black. So he's from Jamaica. My mum is from Jamaica and England.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to know that you've set a landmark in that respect.
You know, definitely.
Apart from that, we wish you well.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you want to. I just have to ask you this. Do you want to give out the name of your company?
Yeah, if anybody wants to check it out, my company's called TBC Consultants.
TBC Consultants.
Yeah.
And you on any social media platform?
All social media platforms, and do a Google search, or you can find our company
TBC
website.
Consultants. Okay. Thanks a lot for that, and we wish you well.
Cheers. Thank you. Have a great day.
And to the listeners out there, do not forget to listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where we interview people who've invested from Africa around the world. And I hope you learned something from that. Have a nice day. We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.